Heads up, people. At first I thought maybe I was a little, I don't know, losing my mind or just not paying attention. But this just happened now, and I just proved it. Um, I had a video that on my Facebook page that I posted. It was like a 2 or 3 minute video that I just watched when I got up, right? About Biden. And he was talking about, these incentives and these new bills. And if you get vaccinated, we're going to do this and that. And you don't have to close your businesses and blah, 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 whatever. So I had it on my page already. And then I decided, you know what? Let me write a whole paragraph explaining what I think is really happening, what he's really planning and saying, right? Because I was basically outing all the lies. Then I go back and I go to show Donna the video, and it's a different video. They switched videos. This was now a 33-minute long video about jobs and how the economy's never been better under the Biden administration, and how everybody's got unemployment is down. But that's not the video that I had written about in detail and had on my page. They changed it. They either took the other one down and switched it, thinking that we're stupid. So in other words, it can't just be happening to me. It's probably happening to a lot of people. They even switch your videos around so that you look like a fool. When you're writing all this stuff, you look like a crazy person because somebody's going to watch the video and be like, Steve, what are you talking about? That's not what the video's about at all. And I just caught him because I just finished writing this long, elaborate post, which I'm going to repost now after this video, but it's not attached to a video anymore. I had to remove the other video that they swapped because it didn't make any sense. What I wrote, when I went back to show Donna the video, it was gone. And he wasn't talking about anything in this video that was on the page under my post like he did before. So little things like that make you wonder, like, wait a minute, how did this happen? But I've been noticing this, and don't think they can't do that. They can erase things, delete things, flag things. Don't think that they're not going to make you look like a fool or try to make you look discredited. So I'm just letting you guys know. I mean, they can do a lot of stuff. And this has been happening, not all the time, but it happens enough for me to start noticing. And then I go back and I'm like, I didn't post that video. Or how did that get on my page? Or where's the video I did put on my page? And this doesn't make any sense now, what I just wrote. I just wrote this above the wrong video. It just happened again right before my eyes, and I'm like, I got you, Facebook. I know what you're doing. So that's another evidence to me that what I wrote was absolutely dead accurate. I see right through their lies in the video, right through everything Biden said, and I broke it down like play by play and said, well, this is what they're really saying, and this is what they're really going to do. And then they removed the video and swapped it out with something else. So I look like, if people read that and then they watch the video, they're going to be, Steve, what are you talking about? You're cuckoo. I mean, that's not at all what the video's about. Because that's not the video I'm writing about. They swapped it out. I can't even find the other one. It was a Dan Benigno or whatever video or something like that. I got it off one of those things, and now it's gone. So, whatever. I'm just letting you know, be aware, because a lot of people like me, we post a lot of stuff. You don't ever go back probably and reread your stuff or rewatch the videos. What if you're posting something and then they switch it, and then a week later, and you don't even know because it's like a week back on your timeline, but other people see that and it makes you look like you're not believable, like there's something wrong with you or you're discredited. So I mean, I'm not a stupid person. I already know that a lot of people already think that I'm a little off or paranoid or, conspiracy theorist or whatever. And I don't care what you guys think, because I write down my opinions, what I believe. Well, not even what I believe, what I know through research. And before I post anything, I make sure that, I've heard other big personalities, well-known, well-respected people saying and doing the same things as me. Then I say, okay, there's enough of us out there who are all on the same level. We're all saying and thinking and believing the same thing. So I'm going to post this because I'm not the only one with the same ideas who thinks that this is what's going on or who's picked up on this. So, I will say this. They used to put me on Facebook arrest and shut my account down. They used to flag a lot of my stuff for false information and fact check me all the time. Once in a while they'll delete stuff off my page, but I am getting a little concerned now because I'm seeing a lot of other people's pages being shut down for saying and posting the same things I am, or getting flagged or warned. They don't warn me anymore. They don't flag me that much anymore. They don't shut me down. Why? I think maybe because my number went down below 800 and I only have like 400 people on my page, a little under 500 people. Maybe they're like, oh, that's not even enough to worry about censoring this kid. Or people just think he's a kook anyway, or, and his page is not public, so he's not really doing much damage. He's not really reaching enough people. I think that's what it is, because my numbers have gone down. I myself unfriended about 1,000 people because they're people that I don't need naysayers on my page. They were people that, a matter of fact, I went through my friends list and I found about a couple hundred people that I never knew. A couple hundred people that I never added to my page. I don't know how they got on my page. There's also, I noticed, and you got to keep going through your Facebook often because somehow things will go on your page that you didn't put there. I found a lot of videos that I never posted. I found stuff missing. I keep changing my password. I found a lot of likes and interests, books, movies, music artists, stuff like that, pages that I supposedly like and subscribe to that I don't even know what they are. So I had to spend hours one day going through my whole Facebook page and clearing all this stuff off and unliking thousands of stuff that a Christian like me would not listen to, watch, or put on my page. So I think, and I didn't pay attention to this, and now I got to pay attention to this stuff because they make you look like a hypocrite. They try to discredit you, or somebody it's like spam. They use your page to spam stuff, or maybe there's a hacker or whatever. So I don't know how these things happen, but you got to watch because I used to have 5,000 friends on my page years ago when I first had Facebook because I used it for acting and modeling. But then once I use it for evangelism and stuff, then my numbers went down by thousands, like within the first couple months. And then I went and got rid of a lot of people because I don't want to see a lot of filth and profanity and stupidity coming through my newsfeed. I want truth. I want important stuff. I want good moral individuals in my circle. So if you're still on my Facebook page, that's because you stuck with me all this time. I think there's like 491 of you now. And you know what? I'd rather have only 491 intelligent, normal, good people on my page than 5,000 people I don't even know who have nothing in common with me and just use Facebook for stupidity. I don't use Facebook for that. So thank you if you're still on my page. Thank you. I know that some of you just feel obligated out of niceness to keep me on your page, or you work with me, or maybe you're in a fife and drum with me, or whatever, and you don't exactly agree with my posts or writings, or you probably don't even read them. You probably there's a way to make it so that you don't see my stuff. That's probably why you're all still on my page. I know that. But for those of you who do, I do have some faithful followers who watch and comment and email me, and I see them in public and in my personal life. And so for you guys who want to watch my videos and want to hear what I have to say, want to read my long posts, who want to know what's going on, I know that some of you know that I'm a trusted source. that I go through and I handpick stuff that I think is important. Like, for example, I don't know if all of these there's a lot of false prophets in the world. And a lot of these videos I post, we can't prove. They're not approved by the church. But after listening to something, if I still think that the message is still pretty good or worth listening to, worth thinking about, I'll post it. Because even if it's fake, it's something to think about and maybe implement in your life. If there's a video that is not approved by the church, but they're basically saying, hey, listen, you really need to step up your game and be really serious in your walk with Christ, I'm going to post it. I don't care if somebody made it up off the top of their head or if it came from some unapproved apparition site. The point is, it's a good message. It's something worth, it's true. So it's intelligent, so I put it on. I don't just post anything. I do pick and choose certain things that I know are relevant. If there's a comet coming through the atmosphere or through the solar system, I post about it, because that could affect us. Asteroids, stuff like that, I think people should know, because sometimes they say they're not going to hit and they do. Don't you want to know, or do you just want to have a fireball hit you and wipe out a city and you had no idea it was even coming? Because most of you people are not into astronomy and, what's going on in nature and science and outer. I am. A lot of you guys are not into politics. I hate politics, honestly, because I think that it's all... These politicians are all crooked. It's all a bunch of lies. It's no good. It's evil. It's diabolical. And so I don't really get into the politics of it. I just like to know what's being said and what's being done and planned. And I love to disprove them. I love to say, okay, so break it down and write all about the video and say, okay, so this is a pack of lies. This is, this is what they're going to do next. This is what they really... I see between their lies. I see between the lines. And look, I'm not the smartest person on the planet, but God did give me some wisdom. The gift of wisdom, the gift of being able to see through things and have an idea of where things are headed. And so I use that gift to try to keep people, give them a heads up of what's really going on. A lot of people don't see it that way. They don't believe it. Listen, to each their own. Listen, I do my part. All I know is the Bible says, tell people the truth, warn them, teach them the right way, and after that, shake the dust off your feet if they will not listen. But their blood is not on your hands anymore on Judgment Day. But there is something called a sin of omission. And that's when you could be saying something or warning somebody about something. You know something, people need to know or should be warned, and you don't. You just, for whatever reason, fear, pride, don't want to worried about what people are thinking about you or going to say about you. You don't do what the right thing is, the ethical, moral thing, which is to tell them, to warn them. That would be like if I saw a blind man about to walk off a cliff and I just sat there and watched him fall and I didn't stop him. I didn't warn him. That's a sin of omission. The guy's blood is on my hands if he dies because I saw it coming and I did nothing. So, Christians are watchmen on the walls. We're supposed to be... If you're a real Christian and you're really walking with Christ every day, He's going to show you what's going on in the world in many different ways. You're going to have a knowing. You're going to have supernatural gifts of the Holy Spirit. You're going to have abilities that most human beings without God, without a real relationship, don't really have. You get insights and intuition. You get wisdom. There's all kinds of the gifts of the Spirit. Sometimes dreams, visions of things before they happen. I get a lot of that stuff, and I don't tell a lot of people because then they think, "Oh, see, he's a kook." Look, that's your lack of faith is your problem. I don't know what to tell you. I don't care. I know who I am. I know what I've got. I know how this works, and I use my gifts as wisely as I can to have a good evangelistic ministry. That's what I do. If you still don't believe or agree with what I say, then don't listen to me. And a lot of you don't. Because what I'm telling you all the time is going to require you to change your life. The way you talk, dress, act, think, who you hang out with, how much you drink, You gotta have to stop doing drugs. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that people do every day that they don't want a Christian telling them not to do. They don't want to be told. They don't want to be reminded. They know their sins. They know it's illegal or wrong. They know that they should be doing more for God. They know. Like, I always hear a lot of my friends, Steve, you're doing a good job. Keep up the good work. Thank you for doing what you're doing. It's really courageous. And there's not many people like you to be a light in the world. So keep doing it. But, I'm not going to stop doing this and that or whatever, and that's good for you. And, I know it's the right thing, but, so you do you and I'll do me. Okay, well, so that's stupid because that's like, okay, you know the truth now, but you're just not going to stop. Like if a doctor says, listen, if you smoke one more pack of cigarettes, you will die of a heart attack, and you keep smoking. I mean, yeah, I know doctor said I'm going to die, and I know that, but I just do it anyway because I like it. I'm sorry, but stupid is as stupid does, guys. I love you. I love my friends. I love my family. I love people, but I can only warn you, and I'm doing the best I can because out of love, I care about you. I don't want to lose you, and I don't want your soul lost. I want us all. Look, this world is difficult, and it stinks, and it's going to get worse. Wouldn't you want to be all together, safe with your family and friends, up in heaven for eternity, where you'll never have to suffer again, and you're going to live forever in happiness? Everything that you could ever hope to have down here or achieve, you will be given by God in heaven. As long as it's not sinful. If you want to have prostitutes and strippers, then no, forget it. Drugs, forget it. Alcohol, no. But you will walk on streets paved with gold and gems. You will be living in mansions that are created just for you, and each mansion is going to have everything you could have ever wanted. Imagine being able to... Money's no object, right? So you had all the money in the world. You're like Donald Trump, and you can build yourself a home. The ultimate mansion with everything you could ever want in it. That's not sinful again, guys. We're not going to talk about weed bars and bars of alcohol and drugs. No. And stripper poles. And no. None of that. But imagine everything that is good, ethical, wholesome, and moral that you could ever want. You'll have it in there. Okay? Jesus knows you so well, he knows what color your bathroom would be. If there's even a bathroom up there, which I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? So, you don't need to worry about having it now. See, that's the thing. The devil tricks you into saying, you only have a short time on this earth. You better enjoy it. You better have it now. And he rushes you and he stresses you. And, the American dream is to get a big house and a good career and have a kid, 5 kids and a beautiful wife. And it's just like, okay, you're so busy trying to achieve this because you know that right out of high school, it's like horses being let out of the gates at the Kentucky Derby. And they're off and running. And not everybody's going to finish their race. And so you're in a race to try to amass as much material, wealth, and fun, and pleasure, and sin, and whatever you can in your short time, because some of you will live to be 20s, 30, 40, 50. Everybody has a different time down here. Nobody knows how long. Nobody's promised tomorrow. So you're all on this hamster wheel in a rush to go nowhere fast. Meanwhile, you don't see that the world, the evil in the world that's hidden behind these things is getting worse by the day. And you try to ignore it. You try to drink it away. You try to use entertainment to ignore the bad in the world and just focus on what's good. But if you really look under a microscope, you'll see that even things like Disney that you think are good are already infested with evil and pornography and all kinds of stuff in there. Subliminal messages and stuff. So this is not conspiracy. This is truth. Nothing down here is holy and pure and good. We just make the best out of it. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is don't waste your life. You're wasting your life on partying all the time, or drinking, or drugs, or sex, or trying to have a bigger house and better this and whatever. For what? To have maximum pleasure for the time you're down here, or out of pride so that people can say, wow, this person achieved all of this. Wow, I envy them. Oh, wow, look at them. Good looking, nicest body, most beautiful wife and kids. Oh, well, look at the house on the beach. probably don't even get to enjoy that stuff that much. I mean, I know guys who have gorgeous wives and their relationships are so bad, their marriages are about to divorce. I mean, they don't even get to enjoy their beautiful wives or husbands. They're working so hard to keep what they have, to keep up with the Joneses, to keep up their reputation in people's eyes, that they don't even get to enjoy their homes that often. Then they're so darn depressed and stressed that they take to drinking all the time because they're so stressed out trying to keep this hamster wheel going. They bit off more than they can chew. They're not really happy. So they just try to drown their sorrows and get up and do it all over again tomorrow. I've been there, guys. I don't even want to, it doesn't matter how I know these things. Just trust me. I'm a fellow sufferer. I've been through all of this in my life. I'm 41 years old. I've had a very packed, unusually strange, but very busy life. And there's nothing you can tell me that if I was a priest, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to be a priest, is that if you came to confession and talked to me, there's nothing you can tell me that I probably wouldn't be able to relate to in some way and say, yep, okay, I know, I do understand you. Yes, I do know. Don't sit there and say, you don't understand. I do understand. That's why I make these videos. Maybe you guys don't understand how all this works. It's like you're all in a pinball machine. And I'm outside of it watching this. You need to get out of it and look down to see. Sometimes you need to climb to the top of the mountain and look down into the valley that you're in to have a bigger picture of what's coming and what's all around. Get an idea of everything that's going on. Not just, because when you're in it, you're not really able to see everything. So sometimes you gotta take a break and pull yourself out and look back. Hindsight's 20/20. You get a better view from above. Get out of your life, get out of your cycle, stop and take a big look. And then you'll understand, life is too short. You gotta keep it simple. Don't take more than you need. Don't strive for, you don't need to be rich and famous. You don't need to have the best of everything all the time. What's most important is family, friends, making memories today because you might not have tomorrow. That's life. You guys are so busy trying to live a good life that you're not living at all. You're not really living. You're not stopping to smell the roses, to see the stars. Life is passing by real fast, and you're just working to make more out of concern for the future, out of fear, worry, out of not having enough. Well, why don't you reconstruct your life so you don't need as much? Maybe get rid of cable, and that'll save you over $100. So that you can use that on something else. You do without, try to, like these tiny homes, these simple living people, they got it. They fit families of 8 in a space that's 300 feet. And they're happy. I don't know how they do it, but I would be happy. But I'm just saying there's ways to compact your life and to downsize and to cut the bills and the expenditures, and where you don't have to have a job where you're making over a 6-figure income in order to keep what you got. There's different things you can do. And a lot of this is based on a model of Christianity where Jesus says take only what you need because you're going to have treasure in heaven. You don't need to worry about building treasure now. And it's about relationship and people and enjoying life down here and less stress. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying to be a loser and be lazy. No. And I'm saying work hard for your daily bread. Don't expect handouts. But don't overachieve where you're struggling all the time and you're unhappy because you have so much debt and stuff. Like, I didn't go to college, and you know what? I'm glad I didn't, because I could not afford the student loans, and I would still be paying them off, and I just couldn't. I'd be in jail. I'd go bankrupt. So, and I don't need it, because there's nothing that I needed a college degree for that I wanted to do, and a lot of people I know have 2 master's degrees, and they're still not doing what they went to school for. Isn't that sad? And they're still paying all this debt off, and it's like, what was the point of that? Because you want to be academically inclined, and everybody look at you how smart you are? Your house is small and garbagey. You're miserable. You have no money. I mean, what is that college degree doing for you? Unless there's a need or a purpose for something, don't go for it. Don't fall for this trap. Guys, I'm trying to teach you that you need to read the Bible and have a Christ mentality. Then you can, that's what he meant by I want to set the captives free and get you to really live life in abundance. If you learn how to think like Jesus does and understand what he was doing, you'll live a less stressed life and you'll enjoy this life more, because you're not going to be so consumed and busy with the things of the world, especially things you don't really need, that you're going to have time to really spend with your family and friends, kids, wife, God. You're going to enjoy things. You're going to be able to stop and see things that you never saw before because you didn't have time. You never thought of it that way. You didn't, this world is it's like a trap, like a rat race, a maze that is keeping us from actually being able to stop and smell the roses. It's keeping us so stressed, in a constant state of stress, that you get sick, that you're too busy, you don't pray, you don't spend time with people, you don't enjoy your life. You just gotta have. So I got bills, so I gotta do this, and you just go. And then that's why so many people drink, do drugs, kill themselves, they're miserable, because marriages fall apart, because they're on this hamster wheel that is a never-ending machine. It's a machine that keeps eating, and it's never satiated, and it's never enough. Get off of that and get into Christ and see the world as it really is, and see what's really going on, and navigate these pitfalls and learn to live a simpler, more calm life where you can enjoy your time down here, because it's short. And I mean, there's just so much that you can learn from Christians, from Christianity, from the Bible, that I can't teach you in this video. It took many years to understand. It's like Jesus says something, right? But it's there's so many levels, like an onion, to what he's saying, that it comes at you from so many different angles that it makes sense on so many different levels and could be applied in so many different ways. It's like the Word of God is it's like power. It's like a never-ending. No matter how many times you read it, you always get something new out of it. You're always learning more. It's not like, okay, I've heard that already. Yeah, John 3:16. Yeah, okay. All right, no, you can't just learn it once and that's it. No, it's like an intricate spider web that's attached to everything and all truths and reality. And it's like a constant source of information coming, ideas, understanding. Like sometimes I'll be in the shower and all of a sudden out of nowhere, a Bible verse will pop into my head. And the last time it popped in my head, I was going through something else maybe a year or two earlier, and it made sense and it helped me navigate that issue at that time, and it applied to that issue. But then I'm like, oh, that also applies to this right now, and that's how it works. It's always, there's always going to be multi levels. You could say something, but it has multiple meanings. That's why they call it the truth. The truth is always the truth, and it will. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm losing my. I got to get ready for work, but I'm just trying to. The point of this video was to basically explain to you guys some things I noticed that Facebook's doing, why I do what I do, that you can trust what I'm posting, because I don't just post anything. I know what I'm talking about. I'm basically, here we are trying to explain myself and prove myself again when I don't have to. But whenever I figure stuff out, I want to share it with you guys so that you can also understand, maybe see things from a different perspective, maybe have better understanding of what's going on, maybe be aware, like, oh yeah, that's happening to me too. Is that what's going on? Yeah. Knowledge is meant to be shared. Knowledge is power. And it's meant to be shared. Wisdom is a gift. We have it so we can teach others and help others with it. Jesus calls it a light. He says you don't take a light and put it under a basket. You turn a light on, or you light a candle and you let the light shine and light up the whole room, the whole area. That's the whole point of being a light in the darkness. Knowledge is like light in the darkness. Suddenly the lights are on, you can see, you can understand, you can navigate, because you have the knowledge now, you know where you're going, you can see. Stupidity, ignorance is darkness. It's like your brain is in the dark and you can't see where you're going. You don't know what's going on around you. And so you turn the light on, the light of knowledge, the light of faith, the light of truth. Truth is like a mathematical equation that is always going to be proved. You can't deny it. It's going to always be certain, definite. So you need the truth. And so, yeah, I try to share my gifts from God with the world in the way I can. And it really stinks that most people just write me off as a conspiracy theorist or a nutcase, but I'm not. And I got to the point where I don't care what people think. I say it anyway, I do what I gotta do, and I'm done. I told you, on Judgment Day, God's not going to be able to say, Stephen, you didn't warn them. Stephen, you didn't tell them. Stephen, I gave you these gifts to help people. What did you do with it? Their blood's on your hands if they don't make it up here. No. It is not, because I never shut up, and I'm always out there all day long for many, many years now, in every way I can, through videos, through writing, through personal interaction, through just being an example. I'm constantly ministering. I'm trying to do this for people so that they can learn and understand and be safe and make it. If they still don't, then that's on them. But I have a good conscience. I can sleep at night knowing I did my best. I told them. I tried. If they're running towards a cliff and I grab them and try to pull them back and warn them and say, look, read the signs, don't go that way, you're going to die, and they take their arm away from me and keep on going and say, shut up, Steve, and they jump off that cliff or fall to their deaths, well, I tried to pull them back, I tried to warn them, I tried to show them, I try. That's love. Love does that. Love never gives up. It keeps doing what it has to for people. But people don't listen. They don't want to listen. They don't want to believe. They want to believe what they want to believe. They want to do what they want to do. They are a lawless generation, an ignorant one. They think ignorance is bliss. Well, it's not. It's stupidity. It will kill you. Ignorance is dangerous. It's lethal. Don't you want to know? How many tragedies we could avoid in life if we just knew? If our guardian angel was able to tell us, don't get in the car today, you're going to die in a car accident on the way to work, we could save our lives. You know, I would hope you would listen to him. I mean, mine warns me a lot about stuff. But I'm attentive to it. If you don't believe, you're cutting that power source off in your life and you're on your own. I will end this video with this, because I know it's all over the board. But there's just so much information to share with you guys in so little time, in a way that you'll understand it. Because I'm not preaching to the choir here. I'm not preaching to Christians who already understand this stuff. I'm preaching to the secular world who probably never read the Bible really, or doesn't understand, doesn't have a relationship with Christ, doesn't walk in the supernatural, doesn't know what it's like to experience the things I'm talking about, so they don't believe it. If you do not have Christ, if you are not a true grounded Christian, grounded in the truth of the gospel, you are no different than an airplane, a jetliner with 400 passengers, flying blind, with no communication with the tower. Pilots can only do so much, but once they are in the air, they are dependent on their GPS, but more so, they are dependent on the tower. The tower tells them, fly to this altitude, drop down to this altitude, there's a plane coming in your direction, move up to 72,000 feet, or whatever, you know, you're going the wrong way, turn left, you know, okay, use this runway, you know, there's bad weather ahead, whatever. If you are trying to fly a jumbo jet without a tower on the ground, without keeping communication with that tower, you're flying blind. You cannot land. You don't know where you are, especially if your instruments fail you. Say there's a problem, a geomagnetic storm you fly through, and now all of a sudden you can't see your GPS and your instruments are not working and your compass is off and you can't trust the altitudes. You're flying, you're dead in the air. You don't know what heading you're at. You don't know if there's another plane on the same, coming towards you on the same altitude. You don't know what's in those clouds. You don't know where you're going. You don't know where the airport is. Nothing. How are you going to land? You're dead. You're just kind of traveling through life. You're cut off from God. You're cut off from the tower. And eventually it ends in death. You might have a long ride until the gas, there's no more gas in your tank and you coast down to your death, but that's basically the best analogy I can give for secular people in this world who do not have God, who do not know the truth of the gospel and who do not abide by it and who do not apply it to their everyday life. You are an airplane flying blind without any communication, totally cut off from the tower, and you could only wing it for so long. And another reason why I use an analogy of an airplane with 400 passengers is because we all have people in our lives that we affect. And if I do something bad, it affects my family and everybody else around me. And we are all responsible. We are our brother's keepers. We are responsible to do the right things in life. Otherwise, other people get negatively affected or hurt or killed. Our negligence, our sins of omniscience. If we don't do the right thing, that's a sin because we could have protected somebody or helped somebody. If we are running our own lives into the ground, you're bringing a lot of people who depend on you down with you. You're going to hurt a lot of people. So you're like a pilot with 400 people on board, and you're responsible for those lives. If you slack off, if you're drunk behind the wheel and that plane crashes, you not only destroyed your own life, but you took everybody else down with you. And that's not fair. You need to be competent and responsible. Not flying blind. Not ignoring the communications from God or the tower. Because you're not just affecting yourself on this earth. I don't care if you throw a beer can out the window, you're affecting nature and everybody else who has to look at that and clean it up or be poisoned by the trash. If you steal something, you're hurting the people you're stealing from, and you're hurting yourself, you're hurting everybody. Everything you do drugs, you drink in excess, you're hurting yourself, your liver, your family, your soul, which will burn in hell. I mean, you cannot do things as a human being made in God's image and likeness, whether you believe in that or not, without affecting others around you in some way or another. I don't care if you're alone on an island. You're still affecting everything around you by being present. So you could either help this world and do the right thing and do good, or you can continue being a selfish person who only cares about themselves and litters and destroys, and you're like a locust. You just take and consume and leave a swath of destruction behind you. Like a tornado going through a town. Most of you are living like tornadoes just going through a town, not caring whose house you destroy. It's not yours. You don't got to pay for it. You don't care. You're just having fun. You just keep going. You're not caring about whose lives you hurt or destroy with your drugs, your drug dealing, your unethical, immoral, selfish behavior, godless, lawless behavior. You're drinking. If something happens to you, your whole family suffers because now you're dead. And they lose a husband, a father, a provider. You guys don't want to hear this stuff. That's why nobody's watching this video. You come on, you come right off. Oh, I'm not listening to that. There's Steve again. There's Father Steve. There's Preacher Steve again. Making me feel guilty about my... Somebody's got to tell you. Because you're not sitting there taking a good look in the mirror saying, hey, I'm a screw up right now and I'm screwing everybody else up. Stop. No, you're not. You don't want to take responsibility. You don't want to see it. Well, maybe somebody like me who cares about you might get through to you. Nope, I'll just turn Steve off. I won't hang out with him. I won't invite him to my parties because I know he's right, but I just can't enjoy myself around him for some reason. I mean, he doesn't proselytize me. He doesn't do anything bad, but I feel guilty like I'm making him do something he shouldn't be doing when he's around me, like I'm a bad influence. And I also just feel guilty because when I see Steve and the Christ in him, I know I'm doing stuff that's not good, and I can't enjoy myself because I feel that guilty conscience in the back of my head saying, by by Steve being here, it's like Jesus standing here, and he's watching, and I feel like I can't really enjoy my sin right now because he's here. So maybe if he just goes away or we don't invite him, we'll just invite people like us, and we'll all just have fun. We won't have to feel like we're on eggshells. We won't have to feel like we're being watched or judged, or that we're responsible for bringing someone else down. Or no, that's not right, guys. Don't avoid me just because I'm doing things right and living a moral, decent, godly life and you don't want to. That's screwed up. You should want more people like me. In fact, you're supposed to let our light shine on you, and you're supposed to become like us and raise the bar, so that those 10 people at your party who are all living wrong might become 10 people like me, and we're all living right, and we have each other to do that, and we enjoy our time together like that. I mean, we Christians do enjoy our time just as much, if not better, than a bunch of non-Christians who are, or secular people who just call themselves Christian and believe in Jesus, but live totally against God's rules. Partying all the time, getting drunk, doing drugs, thieving, hanging out with the worst element of society, being very selfish, godless, and inconsiderate, all for the sake of temporary pleasure and then hangovers in the morning and do it all over again. I'm not talking to anybody in particular. I'm talking to the whole world. This is a pandemic of epic proportion. Forget COVID. This is secular life. This is unchristian life. Sex, drugs, gambling, alcohol, whatever feels good, do it. Whatever I want to do, that's my right. I have free. This is a free country for a reason. Yes, that's fine, and you have every right to do what you want. But do not think it does not negatively affect everybody else around. Even if your kids are at a baseball game while you're doing it, it's going to affect them in many ways that you don't even realize. They still know that their parents are doing this. It still affects them. It still puts they're going to end up like you. Is that what you want? You're still affecting the people around you. If you invite 10 people to your house and you're encouraging and enabling this kind of behavior, you're responsible for them going to hell too, with you, because you're encouraging and enabling the bad habits. That's why I hate drug dealers. Most of them don't even get high on their own supply, but they make a living off of destroying souls and lives. And they're so selfish, they just don't care. They're sleazes. And they get people addicted to this stuff. And then they ruin their lives and walk away to the next customer. And that person is destroyed and addicted. And their life gets negatively affected forever. They're always now going to have these demons they have to battle every day. Do I do the drugs? Do I not? I can't fight it. It's terrible. You're a sick, evil, cruel person to enable and encourage and give and sell drugs to people, or alcohol, or anything else in excess. I mean, I don't mind drinking. Even Jesus had a drink once in a while, but he didn't get stupid drunk. He didn't make it, let's set time aside to get so belligerently drunk several times a year. Like, let's look forward to it. Let's look forward to killing our brain cells in our liver so we die young and leave our wife and kids orphaned and widowed. Let's waste thousands of dollars on unnecessary stuff when we could be going on a nice cruise with our family to Italy and enjoying life as a family, or putting our kids through college, or having a better home or car, or maybe just going to bed at night knowing that we have enough money in the bank to be okay. Or, you know what? You're going to hate this one. Enough money to help people like me, Steve, who have nothing, or other people in the world, so that they don't starve at night or sleep on the street. Do you ever think of that? I mean, think about it. Next time you're buying rounds of alcohol or drugs or whatever it is at a bar or wherever you are, calculate that money. If you had just given that wad of cash to somebody who has a family and they can't provide food for their kids, or clothing, or school supplies, or medicine they need to survive, or a car, or something, think about it. If you drug dealers and alcoholics and all drug users and all that stuff use that money that you're wasting anyway on evil that's just going to kill you and it's not enough because you're going to need more the next day. If you took all that money over these years, you'd have probably $1 million or more. And think about how $100, $100,000, even $1,000, $1 million could feed a small country. You have children starving to death in the streets in India, all over the world, okay, even in America. And you don't think twice about, oh, I work hard, I play hard. That's sick. You are cruel and selfish. You could, if you're going to waste that money, throw it out the window, you might as well throw it out the window so somebody who can pick it up and use it. Do you know what I can do with that money that I need, that I can't even get a better job. I have disabilities that keep me from being able to work blue-collar jobs in construction or a trade would require a lot of manual labor and heavy lifting, so I can make a six-figure income and have a family and a home of my own and a new car. And a lot of you say, oh, I have a good job, and God gave you the ability to have what you have. He gave you the genetics, the good health, the intelligence to maybe get your degree. Everything you have, you cannot take responsibility for. You cannot applaud yourself. God gave that to you, and if He didn't, you wouldn't be able to have it. He could have made you born crippled and in a wheelchair or with no arms. Do not take things for granted. Your looks, your health, your genetics, your beauty, your home. You guys take things for granted. You just live in your own little world and you don't stop to think. And again, this message is not for anybody in particular. This is for the entire human race. Because you're all doing this. I used to do it. We're all guilty. We are our brother's keeper. Now do you see why there's a hell and why God says to stop these things and to start living right? Because it's a different way of living. I don't even have enough money to pay my bills sometimes, but I still, if I see someone hungry on the street, will give them a $20 bill. I have to work like 2 hours to almost after taxes to earn that $20. And I give it to somebody, or I'll give them water, I'll buy them a sandwich, a jacket, whatever, clothes, whatever they need, to try to help make this world a better place and to try to alleviate the suffering. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, you did it to yourself. I don't care. I don't feel bad for you because you don't want to work or you're on the street. Look, there's no time for that. It's a human being or our brother's keeper. If you want to see change in this world, you have to do something out of your pocket, out of your time. Okay? God's going to judge us at the end of our life based on how well we loved God and others, not ourselves. How humble we were, how selfless we were, how charitable and giving we were, how we used our time on earth wisely and for good things, not for debauchery and foolish things and waste of time and sin. Okay? That's how this works. So a lot of you won't go to church because you don't want to hear this. You won't hang out with people like me because you don't want to hear it. You know the truth inside. It's written on your heart. You ignore it. You numb it down. You drink, smoke, weed, whatever you have to make the voice go away. And you just keep on going. I'm going to live my life the way I want. And I don't believe in hell. And I don't believe in the devil. So, how convenient. So that means you're unaccountable. You can do whatever you want in life and not be held accountable. You think you're just going to die and that's it. And you're not going to be held accountable. You're going to get away with everything. Wake up. Because for some of you, if you even watch this, and most people won't, especially in its entirety. So this message is falling on a brick wall, deaf ears. But I'm doing it anyway, so the Lord knows I'm putting it out there. And maybe the right people at the right time will watch this. But those of you watching this, you don't know if you're going to make it home alive from work today or tomorrow. This might be the last chance you get. This might have been God intended, and this might be the last thing you ever see or hear before you drop dead of a heart attack, stroke, gunshot, car accident. You don't know. COVID, vaccine, you don't know. But you've been warned. So, I'm doing the best I can in my little lot in life, my state in life with very little, and I'm still going out here trying to do this to reach as many as possible to wake you up and get you on the right course, because it's never too late with God. As long as you have life in you, as long as you're breathing, your heart's beating, you still have a chance to turn around and make it at the last second. Don't play games with God and think you're going to wait to the last second and make it, because if you get struck by lightning or die tomorrow or drown, car accident, you don't have time to say, oh, I repent, and it's too late. You're lost forever. You need to know this now, and you should also be living it now, so that you can teach this to other people, your children, your wife, your friends, your family, so that they know, so their blood's not on your hands. So you can go to heaven, and hopefully they will go as well. And then they will spread the truth to others, and it can spread like wildfire. And millions of souls can be saved, and millions of lives changed for the better. Just speaking this to somebody, they know that you love them. Do you know how many people go around this world with no love? They think that nobody loves them, that God doesn't love them. They don't even know. Their own families, like mine, don't love them. They rejected them, threw them to the street. Somebody cared enough about me to talk to me like this, and it worked. And God speaks to me like this through His Word and through other ways because He loves me. So I know God loves me, and I know other Christians love me. Good people in this world love me. We love each other. We have each other. We're a family. We want to spread that love. You know, everybody's saying, love is love, love is love, God is love. Really? Love is love and you're smoking joints. Love is love and you're getting plastered. Love is love and you're stealing from each other and stabbing each other in the back and bad-mouthing each other and living selfishly. Love is love? No, clearly it's not. I don't know what kind of love you're talking about, but it certainly isn't Christian love. It certainly isn't biblical love. It isn't godly love. It is not love of God and of neighbor. You deceive yourself. Your love is not love at all. It is everything outside of love. It is lust. It is pride. It is envy. It is material. It's everything that's not love, and you don't want to see that. Again, you don't want to know that truth because you want to just deceive yourself and live in your own little happy bubble and pretend there's not a whole world going on out here around you that's really wicked. And you want to say, oh, love is love, kumbaya. Let's smoke a joint. Jesus made marijuana. Oh, yeah, this is good. Oh, God loves me. Please stop being stupid. Because even if He loves you, He'll cry as He's sending you to hell. But He's still going to send you there because He's a just God as well. Because you refuse to live in love. You refuse to know what real love is. You refuse to embrace it and put it out into the world. So no, you don't know how to love. Because if you knew how to love, you wouldn't lie, steal, kill, cheat. You wouldn't do drugs. You wouldn't sell drugs to other people because you know it's going to hurt them. You would totally live your life very different. You would be a good Christian. You would go to church every week, at least once a week or more. You would be a good example to those around you. So do not say that you love me and continue on in your sins, because you don't. And do not say you know God and that you love Him. And continue on in your sins, because you're lying to yourself, you're lying to Him, you're lying to everybody. But God's not a fool. You're not going to trick Him. You might deceive yourself and others, but you do not deceive Him. And you will pay for it. And do not say, oh, God loves me. God's a God of love, so He won't send me to hell. He understands. You are deceiving yourself. God may love you. That's why He created you and gave you a chance. But He will still let you fall into hell. Because you're making the choice not to love. And what was the biggest commandment He gave? The first commandment out of the 10. And then the 11th again, later on in the New Testament. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, might, life, strength. And you will love all others, even your enemies, as you love yourself. Then Jesus comes and He goes, I give you a new commandment, which is really another rendition of the first. And He said, love covers a multitude of sins. And He said, if you master love, you will fulfill the entire law. You will fulfill all the 10 commandments. So I give you a new commandment, to love. Love God and love neighbor. It's not a new commandment. It's just a new way of looking at the first commandment. Love God. Because, let me explain what he meant by that. If you love God perfectly as you're commanded, you will not be able to not love others. You will love him and you will love others. And guess what? When you truly... What did Jesus say? He said, if you love me, you will obey me. You will obey my commandments. You will love God and your neighbor and your enemies as I commanded. And so that new commandment really fulfills the entire law because it's just the first commandment again. And when you fulfill that commandment, you fulfill all of them. Because thou shalt not kill. You won't be killing anybody if you love God and you love others. Thou shalt not steal. You won't be stealing anything if you love God and you love others. Thou shalt not covet. You won't covet your neighbor's wife or things. Because there's two commandments right there. Because you love God and you love others. And you know God told you not to do it. And you love him, so you obey him, right? So you don't do these things. You will not bear false witness because you love God and you love others. Don't you understand? That's why he said I give you a new commandment, which basically covers them all. Do not sit there and tell me love is love. Yes, God is love, absolutely. But that's not going to benefit you if you are not like him and obeying him. He might be love, and he might love you, but you don't love him if you don't obey him. Obey those commandments, and that's how you prove you love him and you love others. That's how you fulfill it. So if you're not doing that, it doesn't matter if God's love. That's going to help you on Judgment Day. You're going to hell. If you don't love him, you don't love others, and you certainly don't even love yourself. So it's not. Don't say love is love, because it's not. I could sit there and say I love coffee, I love cocaine, I love drugs, I love prostitutes, I love pornography, I love committing sin. I could love those things. Love is love, so that's good. That's good. It's good to love those things. Really? Is it? That's not the kind of love God's talking about. That's that kind of love that you shouldn't be loving those things. Jesus said to hate sin, love God, and love what is good, wholesome, holy, pure, edifying, life-giving, not evil, destroying, life-destroying, selfish, greedy, wicked, impure, immoral. So what kind of love is love in your book? Everything under the sun, the good and the bad? Not going to heaven. Sorry. You're wrong, you're deceived, you're sick in the head. So I hope that this is making sense to you people. I hope, and I'm sorry I'm not wearing a shirt right now, but I'm trying not to show, below my gullet here. But I just didn't have time. The message came to me and I had to film this. Do not say love is love, because you people who say that are not walking in the love that God commanded. You do not know God. You do not know his word. You obviously do not understand the love of God and the love of neighbor. You do not understand the commandments. You do not understand the word of God. You do not understand anything. You are an ignorant, deceived person. And stop spreading your errors and heresy everywhere with your love is love. And you're spreading heresy and error that is going to send many to hell. Now do you understand why love is not love? Do you understand the difference between God's love and our human love? Very different. God is holy love, pure love, perfect love. Ours is defective. We're not God, so we can never love as perfect as him. So he told us how to love in a way that's acceptable to him. And we're not even doing that. Because if you really love all people, you'd be giving water and food to those people on the street. You'd be doing everything you can instead of selfishly blowing your money on yourself and on drugs and alcohol or things you don't need. You'd be spending their extra money, giving it to church, giving it to other people. Oh, you don't want to hear that. Heck, no, I'm not doing that. I work hard for my money. I need it. Well, let me tell you something. You have what you have because the Lord giveth. The Lord giveth you everything so that you can do that. And easily, quickly, the Lord can also taketh away. He's done it to me. He's done it to millions. And he will do that if he needs to teach you a lesson. If that's your only way to get your attention to save your eternal soul, that's all he cares about. So you can say goodbye to everything and everyone you love one day if that's what's necessary. He will strip you down to nothing where you're completely in poverty like me and utterly dependent on him for everything. in order to save your soul from the fires of eternal hell. That's a loving God who will do what he must in order to keep you safe. Because if he doesn't do that, then you're probably going to continue on living the way you are until you're dead and in hell and bringing many with you. He's not going to allow that. So he sends people like me into your life. And there's many of us out here, and we do this every day to try to wake you up and help you to understand and educate you in the truth, the reality, not our truth, not just the Bible truth, but the truth that governs the entire universe. The truth that the devil and most people in power on this planet who work for him do not want you to know, because their main goal is to get you in hell with them for eternity, in order to get back at God, because they know they're going to hell, so they hate him. They rebelled against him, and now they're paying the price. But they're not going to go down without trying to hurt him and retaliate. And the only way they can reach God and hurt him is by hurting his precious little human children, you and I, and by getting us to turn against him. Imagine being, and I'm going to end it here, imagine being a loving father or mother. You did everything. You would even give your last kidney, your last drop of blood to save your child's life. You work hard for them, you love them, you do everything you can to keep them safe and alive. But they rebel and tell you, I don't need you, I don't care. They try to, can't you hurry up and die so I can have my inheritance now? I'm going to do drugs, and I know it's going to hurt you every day when you see me tattoo myself up and do drugs and sleep around. I know that everything I do hurts you, but I don't care. Okay? They rebel against you. After everything you did for them, they disobey you, and they turn against you, and they hate you for no reason. And all you did was love them and give them life. That's what you and I do to God when we sin. When we refuse to do what he said, when we refuse to go to heaven. So he died on a cross for us and gave every drop of blood in a very painful death so that we could still have a chance after all our rebellion. And we still slap him in the face and say, no thank you. I'd rather do drugs today and get drunk to oblivion. No thank you. I didn't ask you to do that for me. And then, when you're in hell and those flames are burning you 24/7 and demons poking and ripping you apart and biting off your genitals and tearing you from limb to limb over and over and over again in an unending death cycle of death, because your soul cannot die, but it can be tormented. You could experience the pains of death for eternity, but not ever die. Imagine burning like a candle for eternity and never being able to put the flames out and never getting away from the pain. Forever. Okay, that's what Jesus died on the cross to save you from, because that is the result of evil and sin. And if you do not take him up on his gift of eternal life by obeying him, love can be love all you want to say that. You can, but that's not going to save you. You're going to experience that torment for eternity. And he doesn't want that for you, and I don't want that for you, and I don't want it for myself. And so I had to make a decision in my life to totally change my entire life around, and it cost me everything, literally. But it's like that the story about the pearl of great worth. Okay? When you find Christ and you know this truth, and you know there's a very real hell and you're on your way there, and that this is what you have to do to get away from it and change direction to go to heaven, it's like a man, like the story of the pearl in the Bible. It's called the pearl of great worth. A man found a pearl of great worth, the most expensive, most valuable pearl on earth, and he knew the worth of this thing, but the jeweler at the store selling it did not. So he went and he sold all his land, all his possessions, his home, his car, everything, in order to come up with the money to have that pearl of great worth. Because even if it cost him $1 million, once he owned it, it was his. And it was priceless. He can charge whatever he wanted for it now. He can sell that for $3 trillion now, and the right person who knows its worth would pay it. So he's got all the power now. He is more wealthy now because he's got this one pearl. than he had with all of his businesses and houses and livestock, everything he had to sell in order to get this pearl. It did not compare. That net value did not compare to the value of this pearl.